Welcome to Attenuation, a weekly podcast where two friends come together to drink beer, discuss beer styles and trends, and just generally ruminate on the meaning of life, aka beer. If you enjoy your time with us, we invite you to become a weekly listener and subscribe to the podcast. Without further ado, here is this week's episode.
Hello, and welcome to episode 60 of Attenuation, a beer podcast. My name is Jason, and I'm joined by my best friend since 8th grade, Steven.
Hello.
How's it going today, sir?
Awesome. It's beer drinking time.
Yes, our favorite time of the of the week. So today we have a very topical topic, I guess, and that's celebrating with beer. So we're going to talk about some of the reasons we'll bust out a special beer from the fridge and drink it, and maybe some of the reasons why we're too conservative about doing so.
Yeah, I'm at this point where if I open my beer fridge and I have too many special beers in there, it gets hard to on a daily basis go out there and just pick something, because I'm like, well, I want to save that for the podcast, or I want to save that for a special occasion, and then I don't have any just regular beers to drink. So.
Yeah, they're all on reserve.
Yeah, trying to have something on the side, like a 6-pack of something, just like a simple sour or something that I don't feel bad just grabbing it and not taking a picture of it and stuff.
Right, and you don't get analysis paralysis. You can just open the fridge and grab that one.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, that's a good idea, actually. So, speaking of which, we are going to drink beer. That's our first segment of the show. So we both pick a beer, we open and do nose notes, and then we cheers and we drink and we do tasting notes. So in the spirit of today's episode, I'm going big. This is a beer you brought me. This is Fremont's Brewing from Seattle, their 12th anniversary stout with cherries, and this is a 2021 release.
Yeah, you did go big.
Yep. And we're going to talk about this more when we get to the main topic, but I'm celebrating. This beer is going to be the celebration unto itself. So this is what we call it on the podcast a fancy beer, because it has wax all over the top.
Yeah, I was going to say it's got layers.
Yes.
Does it have a cork too?
No cork, just a regular cap.
Okay, gotcha. They post on Instagram a lot, the video of them dipping beers in the wax.
Really?
That's pretty cool. They dip it 3 times.
Yeah, I can tell. It was a pain to get off.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks really cool, but then when you want to open it, you're struggling with it. Okay, so this pour.
Knife to cut through it or something.
Yeah, I have the little weird. On the wine bottle opener, they have the little knife that folds out, but it's not really sharp. It's a mini butter knife. Yeah, I had to use that, but it took a long time. Okay, so this poured jet black, and it has it had a head that kind of bubbled up in the beginning. It almost is tinged red. I wonder if that's the cherries. And then it almost immediately dissipated to a ring just around the edge. And this smells so good. It's it just tastes they took a cherry and drowned it in bourbon. And maybe and chocolate, raisins, maybe dark fruits, but just overpowering on the nose, or the most pronounced thing on the nose is cherry and bourbon and chocolate. So I'm excited. I think this is just what I needed to drink today.
Rough day, buddy.
Yeah.
All right, well, I picked a big one too. Not super big ABV, 7%, but it's a big bottle. And this is called Preservation from Urban Family Brewing in Seattle. It is a sour ale with blackberry and raspberry. I have been wanting to drink this one for a while, so.
I like the name, Preservation.
Sounds like it should be a Russian River sour.
Yeah. Maybe they're going to have to borrow the name. They're running out of Asians.
Yeah. Oh my god, I'm so excited about this. I'm super thirsty right now in general, so this is going to taste so good. All right, so it's pouring a deep pink, I would call it, a dark pink.
Okay. Purple on my screen.
Yeah, purple. Maybe that's what dark pink is. It's purple. Thanks for helping me out.
No problem. That's why we're co-hosts.
Super effervescent head. No retaining head whatsoever. Just quick bubbles, and that was it. It smells like raspberry jam
Nice.
spread out over like wheat toast. Like I get a nice like malt backbone. Oh my god. Yeah, raspberry jam on toast. That's what it smells like. It smells like I just popped the bread out of the toaster and spread some jam on it. Oh my gosh. Just a little bit of like yeasty funk, but it's pretty mild. That's it. Not
Sounds
complex,
good.
but I'm gonna love it.
You know what you like. All right, cheers.
All right, cheers.
Okay, this is intense. The the cherry is really pushed. I absolutely love it, but I think some people might think it's a little too much cherry. So like,
Okay.
because when your first sip is like it's bourbon, cherry, and vanilla, and then like very like dark malt, and then like the cherries come back, but very sweet, like a wave of like almost candy sweet cherries. And it's interesting because I looked on the site and they said that they used 2 cherries when they aged it. Tart Montmorency cherries
Yeah.
and then dark tart cherries from Royal Bridges Fruits in Royal Washington. So they're using local cherries. But yeah, it's like candy sweet at one point, kind of after the initial taste and during the development. And then so you get this wave of sweet cherries and then like dark chocolate and coffee. And then it's 11%, but there's like almost no discernible booze or booze heat. And then it's like thick though. It coats your mouth. It's like oily. It's almost like sludge, but like in a good way. Like it just feels thick, but it's nice. I don't know how to describe it other than it's not a bad thing. But yeah, very cherry forward. But I really like that. So I'm definitely giving it a thumbs up because I kind of like that they pushed it so hard with the cherries.
I mean, it seems like that was the point, right?
Yeah, it's like, well, if you're gonna
Right.
make it a cherry themed barrel aged stout, make sure the cherry is present.
Yeah, don't make it too subtle. Nice. I just realized we both did Seattle beers today.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So we're going Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, so big thumbs up on this one. Except I don't think I'll ever get to drink it again. It's one of those beers
Yeah.
because I think they do an anniversary every year, but I think they change, what they do. So
Well,
I'll enjoy this one.
enjoy it while it's in front of you, I guess.
I'm drinking it for the first and last time.
It's one of the best and worst parts of this hobby sometimes.
Yes.
Like,
Okay. I'm sorry. How was your beer? I'm getting carried away over here.
no, that's okay. My beer's awesome. Not quite as complex as yours, but it's very solid. This is a solid, nice American sour ale. It is really, like I was saying, is a kind of effervescent carbonation, very much like a soda-like mouthfeel with a nice fizzy carbonation. Really like sweet and sour, kind of like a triple berry pie, basically, just dripping with these raspberry, blackberry flavors with a nice kind of malt pie crust backbone. And then in the end, there's like this nice little funky herbal bitterness to it. Just kind of remind you that you're drinking a beer and not a soda. And like a nice dry finish to it, but no discernible alcohol. And it's so good. This is a big bottle. This is 500 milliliters, so about a pint and a half. And
Oh, wow. That is a big bottle.
it's going to be gone in about...
You're going to drink it in a second.
It's going to be gone in about 10 seconds.
Nice. So that's a big thumbs up from you.
It's so good. So good.
All right, good. We're off to a great start with 2 thumbs up day. That sounds, I would like to try that one too.
Yeah,
that definitely sounds super far up my alley.
For sure.
All right, awesome. So that was our drinking beers segment, I guess. Sorry, tasting, drinking, same thing. This stout's already hitting, Steven. So we're gonna have a great episode.
Is that a big bottle too?
Yeah, it's a Fulmer, so
yeah, nice.
We're gonna be in for a wild one. Okay, so next up we have postscripts, where we return to previous episodes to fix mistakes or follow up items for previous episodes, and beer news. And we have some of each. Unfortunately, our first is a postscript. Now, Stephen and I have been noticing when we mention things on the podcast, we'd see them reflected in reality. So last week we really wanted to put our powers to the test So we got to manifest Lagunitas making Aunt Sally again. And I'm sad to report they have not started making Aunt Sally again.
Told you there was a limit to our power.
Even our podcast can't bring back Aunt Sally.
Yeah.
It's a major bummer.
Oh, well. Not yet, at least.
Yeah, maybe it'll come back in like 3 months. And that just means power is delayed.
Yeah.
It's doing its work right now. But it doesn't give immediate results.
They have to brew it, It can't just be like...
Yeah, maybe they started brewing it this week.
Yeah. I did message them on Instagram asking when if it's ever coming back, and they've ghosted me.
Oh, dang. Did they leave you on red?
Yeah. I don't know. I can't see if they've read it, but...
Oh, okay. Then maybe they just haven't seen it yet. They're too busy brewing Aunt Sally.
They don't have a very good social media manager, apparently.
Ah, okay.
They're too big.
Anyways.
Too corporate now.
Yeah.
To respond.
I'm sure they have like 1 million followers too, so.
Yeah. Oh, well.
So that was our postscript. And then we do have a couple items of beer news.
Yeah.
I have.
You go ahead first.
Yeah, I can do mine. So I saw that the World Beer Cup, they had it again. It looks like it was canceled in 2020 because of the pandemic, but they had it again in 2022. And gleaning the article from Forbes, there were some interesting stats I wanted to share. So in 2021, craft production volume grew by 8% year over year. But they also said this is on the heels of a -% decline in 2020 because they saw a lot of restaurants, tasting rooms, bars kind of closed across the country. So 181 breweries closed in 2021 and 86 closed in 2020. And they said that part of the reason was that a lot of craft brewers took out like PPP loans and things like that, but the money started to kind of run out. The total amount borrowed by craft brewers was 1.5 billion, which is crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a lot of money. But there was one kind of positive side of it. In 2021, the number of craft breweries in the United States hit an all-time high of 9,247. So we have almost 10,000 craft breweries in the United States, which is crazy if you think about it. That's like, obviously it doesn't break out evenly across states, but that's like 200 per state.
It's a lot. And if you think about like there are states that have very few.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So pretty interesting stats.
I want to say California has somewhere around like a couple thousand.
That's insane.
Or something. Yeah, it's stupid. But yeah, and it's kind of like it's almost depressing because there's just too many.
Yeah, I mean, part of me like wants them all to succeed, and part of me is like, well, not everybody. You guys can't all do this at the same time. Like, there's gonna be winners and losers. So
yeah, and I think we talked about like certain breweries failing because they like expanded too quickly, and I think there are just a lot of those breweries that I don't know. Well, one you'll never hear about or you never hear of unless they're local to you and you frequent them, like it's just they're just small and they're going to always be small, and I think that's fine with them, but it's just as a big craft beer fan there's just like I want to visit all of these breweries, and it's basically impossible.
Yeah, that's a bucket list item that will never be completed.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, it's cool that it's so popular now.
Yeah, I mean, I just get excited because it just means there's going to be a lot more good beer.
Yeah, there's just no reason to drink bad beer now.
You have 9,247 alternatives to macro styles.
Yeah, no reason to drink bad beer. You can drink styles that you like in craft beer now, and no excuse to drink Budweiser.
You heard it from the man.
You heard it from me first. Probably not first, but maybe first. There's no reason to drink bad macro style beers. I don't know, I guess unless you're really on a budget.
Or maybe you really like those styles, Steven. The beer geek has to embrace that you can like any beer.
Yeah, it's okay. I've come to realize that I'm a beer snob. I'm enough of a beer snob to say there's no reason to drink those styles of beer.
You've embraced the dark side.
Yeah, no reason to drink those brands of beer. If you like a lager, more power to you, but there's some craft lagers out there.
There's some excellent craft lagers. Yeah. I still need to pick up. This is like the Yosemite effect. When you live really close to something and you take it completely for granted. I was just in the grocery store the other day and I saw the People's Pilsner, which won the Pilsner Award.
Yeah,
Was that it won at Great American Beer Festival? It got
I
first
think
place
so.
for, yeah. So that's readily available in my grocery store, and I always stop and stare at it, and I'm like, I should get that. And then I'm like, next time. Maybe I'll get it this week.
Yeah, that could be your 6-pack that you just grab and you don't think about.
And that'd be a good choice.
Crispy boy. I finally know what that means now.
I don't know what that means.
Just, it's a lager. All the crispy beers, when they're talking about a crispy beer, they're talking about like a Pilsner, a lager.
Oh, okay.
Because they're
keeping me young with this slang, Steven.
Yeah, don't you worry. I'm always looking for ways to stay young and relevant. So,
including beer slang.
Yeah, I listen to a lot of old music, but I listen to a lot of new music too.
There you go.
I gotta know everything. I don't want to be one of those people, like where you get like an older person and they like, I see people in their like 60s that like can't use a cell phone.
Oh yeah, I never want to do that.
And I think like they're not that old. Yeah, and maybe we're used to, because it's kind of interesting because we're part of the generation that like kind of had like an analog childhood but a digital adulthood, so like we're a little bit more used to technology and like advancing technology, but we were young enough when it came out that we were able to adapt to it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So like there's definitely an older generation that like had so much time without it that it like the rapidly progressing technology kind of it's just too fast for them and they never caught up. But I don't want to be that person, even though I think that we're like more used to, I think the leaps in technology I feel like they've slowed down a little bit. Do you feel like that?
Yeah, I don't know. Like when a new iPhone comes out, it's not very exciting.
Like
they always have some like, yeah.
Yeah, the leap from like my first Nokia, phone,
like
cell phone,
block,
to the iPhone is incredible, but like now from iPhone to iPhone, it's not really that big of a deal.
All they do is add another camera that you don't need until the back of it is going to look like a honeycomb. Like
yeah.
They already have like 5 lenses.
Yeah, it's really like that is kind of all it's all about. The camera gets a little better and there's more cameras so that you can like take different focuses and depths and stuff, but that's about it.
Yeah, I think Apple's working on
still
like,
drops calls.
Yeah, it just signals. They're like, oh, it's the best iPhone ever. You can't use it to actually make a telephone call. Heaven forbid that. You can look at pictures of the internet.
Yeah, who wants to make phone calls anyway?
No, I think Apple's going to come out with like augmented reality glasses, but I don't know when. It could be like tomorrow. It could be like in 10 years. That'll be the next big jump, but we'll see.
But like even that, I don't think would be like too difficult for us to adapt to.
Yeah, we got our foothold in early enough in life.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't even know how we got on that tangent.
I don't know. I'm drinking a strong beer, so I have my excuse.
Well, I've almost finished mine, so
well, there you go.
That's almost the same.
That's really great. Now you have another beer news for us. You were going to talk about the I think Rate Beer released some of their top picks.
Well, no, I was just going to talk about the World Beer Cup winners.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Well, yeah. Well, so I was going to mention. So Untapped has come out with their best of.
Oh, it was Untapped. Yeah. Okay.
They just they release on their Instagram like some of the top beer ratings of different styles. So they just kind of post like, these are the top beers of 2022 right now of like the Berliner Weiss style. And so they've been putting those out, which have been kind of interesting. Like this is Untapped for you. Like there's not a lot of like diversity at the top end. So like the top 10 Berliner Weiss beers, like the first 3 or 4 are all Trillium. They have a beer called Twice the Daily Serving. And then there's different iterations of that. So like Twice a Daily Serving Raspberry, Twice a Daily Serving Tropical, something anyway. So there's like multiple iterations of this Berliner Weiss. And it's just a heavily fruited sour. But that like dominates the top of the list, like 3 and 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, I think. And then past that is Energy City Brewing, which I think you've had one beer from them on the podcast from their patisserie.
So.
There's their patisserie series. Yeah. So anyway, they have their fruited sour series. They're called the Bistro series, I think. Anyway, they're like the next 4 or 5. So basically just 2 breweries dominating the top 10 Berliner Weiss styles. But again, that's just like very reflective of how Untapped works. It's just,
Yeah, it's kind of like the phenomenon of the social media popularity, like where it hyperfixates on whatever the most popular thing is.
yeah, exactly. So, so they're like the more interesting ones are some of the like the styles that aren't as popular, like fruited sours and imperial stouts. Because even like the top 3 or 4 imperial stouts are all like Goose Island Bourbon County stout, iterations basically.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, it's not even like different. They're just like variants of the same beer. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but some of the styles like blonde ales or like the top 10 best, I don't know. So more of these like side styles are not as popular styles. They're kind of interesting because then you get more of a wide range of like all 10 will be different. Each one is a different brewery, so
Okay.
it's a little more interesting to look through those and go, oh, that's cool. Like never heard of that brewery before, or whatever. So, but yeah, but I wanted to report on the 2022 World Beer Cup, some of the interesting winners. Just kind of like I scrolled through the list real quick just to see if there was anything that like stood out to me. Atrial Rubicite, which we drank on Thanksgiving last year, is the raspberry wild ale from Jester King. That one won gold in the Belgian fruit category.
Nice. I could definitely see that.
Yeah. And remember, this is World Beer Cup. You got breweries the awards are dominated by the US, which makes sense. I mean, this is where most of the craft beer is coming from. But you get winners from all over the world. So
Yeah, so that's a pretty big accomplishment.
yeah, it was cool to see how dominant the US market is on craft beer, as well as just being impressed by how well they do on the international stage, especially beers like Belgian.
Right.
Right?
It's like we've been making
Belgian
them for
style.
like 30 years. They've been making them for like 1,000. Yeah.
And we're winning the awards. Yeah, it's kind of messed up. But yeah, so Atrial Rubicite from Jester King, they won a gold medal. There's a Sierra Nevada has that little thing series. So I think the first one was Hazy Little Thing, and then they had the Crazy Little Thing or the Wild Little Thing. I don't know. Anyway, and most recently they have a Sunny Little Thing, which is their citrus wheat ale. That one won bronze in the fruited wheat beer category.
Oh, did it really? That's awesome.
And then Meanwhile Brewing, which is down in South Austin, they won gold for their lager. This lager has won tons of awards. So my goal probably in the next few weeks is to get down to Meanwhile and drink this beer because it is cleaned up.
Has it really?
Multiple award shows, this gold lager or this lager. So I really need to drink this beer.
Okay.
So that was interesting. It was cool to see them. Three Nations is another brewery. They're in Dallas. They won silver, I think, for their Mexican chocolate stout.
Ooh, I love that style.
Yeah, so they have their stout series is called Devour, and then they have different iterations of that. So their Mexican chocolate iteration of their Devour Stout won silver in the chocolate beer category. And it was just funny because I actually have a Devour Stout in my fridge right now, but it's actually a golden stout. It's a macadamia nut golden stout.
Okay.
Iteration of the Devour. But anyway, I thought that was cool that was in my fridge.
Yeah.
The Kimmy, the Yink, and the Holy Goza won gold for German style sour ale.
Yes.
It's just makes me happy.
It's so hard to find. That's the base Goza, right, from them, but like it's actually pretty tricky to find that one.
So they have, and I was like, I'm sure Jason can find this somewhere. They have a sampler box.
Oh.
It's the Goza sampler box. So it has the Kimmy, the Ink, and the Holy Goza, the Blood Orange Goza, the Cherry Goza, and the Framboise Rosé. It has all of them except the Briny Melon, of course. But yeah,
that'd be fun. That'd be fun to have all of them together like that too.
But yeah, that base Goza is just, I understand why it would win an award because it's just perfect. It's the perfect beer.
Yeah, they like nailed it with that one. It's so amazing.
Yeah. And then the other interesting one was Russian River won silver for their saison called Janami. Janamier, I don't know. I don't know how fancy they get with their pronunciation of this, but so they had a French saison that they
I wonder if I can
made.
get that.
I don't know. I don't think it's super widely available, but
Yeah, too, because it'd be challenging me. I have to drink more of that style.
and I'm sure it would be weird.
Huh. Well, those are some interesting results.
Yeah, so those are the ones that just kind of stood out to me as like, oh, hey, these are local to you or whatever. But it's cool. It's cool to see breweries from like Japan winning in different, like a pale ale category. And
See, I want to go to I think there was one, but someday we got to go to like an international beer fest because I would love to try like craft beers from all around the world and just kind of see like what they're like and kind of the different adjuncts they use. That'd be really fun.
yeah, it would be really cool. And it's just cool that, I don't know, it's just cool to think of like we make Belgian styles and stuff, but other countries are making like American styles.
Exactly.
So anyway, yeah, I would just say like, hey, just check out the World Beer Cup 2022 list. It's pretty cool. It's interesting.
All right, cool. So that was our beer news and postscripts, and we can head into our main topic. So
Starting my
celebrating
second beer right now.
it's very on point because we're talking about celebrating with beer.
It's episode 60. That's what I'm celebrating today.
That is a good excuse. Traditionally, what are some of the things that you would celebrate with a beer or like days? Do you have any days or traditions?
Well, the biggest holiday ever, which is my birthday,
Okay.
which I think everybody celebrates, right?
Yes.
Yeah, around the world.
Generally. There's some rare exceptions, actually.
I love to get good beer on my birthday.
Okay, I'm the same. My birthday, I'm always breaking out something awesome.
Yeah. For quite a few years, my wife and I were doing trips in August. That's when my birthday is. To different we go to big cities like Chicago or New York or Miami, and we always tried to hit some breweries while we were there. So anyway, it's just kind of been this tradition that like around my birthday or during my birthday month, we're always doing some big thing where we're trying to get some good beer in new places. So beer, yeah, I like celebrating my birthday with beer.
No, that's a great. I mean, same thing. Perfect idea for my birthday is like a brewery trip, or if I have something in the fridge like a stout that I've been holding on to for a long time, that's always a good excuse to get in there and crack one open.
In fact, I think that's why we went to Sierra Nevada that one time, right? And did the tour and stuff. That was my birthday.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
That's definitely like my go-to birthday. Like gonna be the excuse I use to go to a brewery.
Yes, get some friends together and go on a brewery tour.
Exactly.
Best birthday ever.
Mm-hmm. That's basically all I want to do now. Like, because generally your birthday is about doing like what you want to do the most, and for me, it's like I want to go to a brewery. But then I also will like drink a good beer out of the fridge. Usually, I'll try to have something because I do, and I mean this is kind of the point of the episode topic, but. And we previously talked about like drinking your cellar. And I do think that's kind of a good policy because I do tend to just fill my beer fridge with things that are like quote unquote special. And then like I don't even consider drinking them. So like I open the beer fridge. Like when we do the podcast, I'll open the beer fridge and then there's like I have like one shelf that's all my barrel aged stouts. I don't even look at that shelf because I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna drink any of those today. It's just like a regular Thursday. It has to be like my birthday or Christmas or Thanksgiving. Like all those days I'll use an excuse to open one of those. But I don't know. I think like today I opened something. I mean, obviously it's the 60th episode of the podcast, so we can celebrate that. But I just kind of was like, you know what? I'm just gonna crack open one of these stouts I've been holding on to for like a year and just drink it because I think there is some logic behind just drink your cellar and just enjoy what you have, not for any particular reason other than like just opening one of these bottles that you've been holding on to for a long time kind of is the reason to celebrate onto itself. So
yeah, I mean you could die tomorrow and not be able to drink any of this stuff
I
you're
know
aging. So,
gotta enjoy.
So if you're on the fence about something, just open it up. But I do, I mean, I guess in some ways, like, you know when you're buying a house and
I've only done that once, but yes.
Or when you're like watching, okay, probably better example, you're watching HGTV and House Hunters or whatever, and they're looking at the kitchen, they're like, oh, this would be a great place to entertain or whatever. And At some point, I was watching those shows thinking, like, you're never going to entertain. Like, what, you have, like, 2 friends? Like,
Oh my
oh, what, you're
goodness.
having parties every weekend? Okay, whatever. But,
That's really funny.
so anyway, I think, like, sometimes I think I'm going to have more special events than I actually will have.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I just need to realize, like, you know what? It's my Friday, right? It's a Friday. Like, I'm gonna open this big beer and drink it for no other reason other than it's Friday and I don't have to be anywhere tomorrow, you know?
Yeah, that's a good enough reason.
Because if I'm like, I'm gonna save this for a time when I have all my friends over or something, like that's, first of all, I don't have that many friends, and second of all, they're probably not coming over.
Oh no. And also like the rare time that I'm kind of the same way, like when I am entertaining, which is quite rare. There's gotta be something I can pull out of the fridge. Like the beer
Yeah,
is never empty, right? So
yeah, exactly.
I do think, oh, I want to wait and drink that with people, but then like there's gonna be something in my fridge to pull out. So
Yeah, I had this Jester King beer. Is called Dichotomous, and is a watermelon wild ale. And I was sitting on that beer for a while, and then realized, like, oh my gosh, like I just need to drink this beer. But we did have like a work get together, and so I just brought it and just opened it up and poured a little bit for everybody. And
that's awesome.
yeah, it was great. And it wasn't that like special of a get together or anything like crazy, but it was like, oh, there's gonna be a bunch of people. This is a big bottle of beer. Just pass it around. Everybody try it, and yeah, like none of us. I didn't have to. The nice thing was I didn't have to drink the whole bottle, and a bunch of people got to try it. And
I
it was
will
just
say yes. That's actually, and that's another good thing is like I think that can be the celebration. Like if you have something that's kind of cool and you have some people that you know will appreciate it. I've always had more fun opening something and sharing it with people than drinking it to myself. Like it's just way more fun to like try something with a bunch of other people. So I think that's like a good reason to open something. Because oftentimes, like now, like I'm really sad you can't try this stout, cherry stout I'm drinking because I would like to have someone else try it and be like, oh, this is good. Also, like I don't want to drink this whole bottle. I'm going to, but I shouldn't. But yeah, but like I don't know. It's just that can be part of the fun and the celebration of craft beer too. Is just like sharing it with people.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's a hard part too, sometimes with us being so far apart, is that there are definitely beers that I'm like, oh man, if I could sit and drink this with Jason, it would be amazing. And that's why I was so excited that we both had a H.O. River site that we drank together on Thanksgiving, because that was like that's one of those
Yeah.
peak beer drinking experiences of like, I have to share this with someone who will understand how awesome this beer is.
Yes, and we were both, yeah, exactly. We were both experiencing the same beer at the exact same time, so it's really fun.
Yeah. So I think another in that same vein, like Thanksgiving, I
Yes.
like to break open something big for Thanksgiving, just because it's such a food day anyway.
Hmm.
I mean, that's what I love most about Thanksgiving is the food and the beer.
Well, that's always a great day too, because it's one of those days where like you're committing to hanging out the whole day. So it's a great time to bust out the big beers that you're not going anywhere. So like you can drink and enjoy, and then still have time to sober up to drive home. Yeah.
On a side note, on like some of the big beers in my fridge, the other hesitation for me too is that like even if I was like on just a random day, like I'm gonna drink this, like sometimes they don't always really go with the food that I'm eating.
Mm.
But the best part about like a holiday like Thanksgiving is that you got all day long, So you just want to pull out like a big beer and drink it. Like it doesn't necessarily have to go with anything. It's like stand alone because you can take all day.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's the I guess that is the other problem with part of like with some of my favorite styles, like the barrel aged stout is yeah, it's kind of a difficult beer to pair with food generally.
Yeah,
It's more like you drink it for dessert, which
right, exactly. All right, so birthdays and Thanksgiving. What else?
those are my go-to.
Cinco
And then
de
kind of any
Mayo.
time. No, not really. Which
You're not busting out your craft Mexican lagers on Cinco de Mayo.
if I had one, I would.
Your
I could
margarita
drink
goza
yeah, that'd be good.
or your michelada.
That works too.
There's actually Martin House Brewery in Fort Worth. They have a salty lady goza. Well, then they seasonally they have a Salty Lady Michelada. So it's a beer it comes in a can, and it's basically their Salty Lady Goza mixed with I don't know, tomato juice or something. I don't know, but
Oh, that's cool. It's already pre-mixed for you.
but it's already pre-mixed in the can.
That actually sounds really good.
Yeah.
Refreshing.
Yeah. Or just like making your own. Well, like, I would make the Michelada with the Bloody Mary mix and the best made pickle Goza. That's another good combination.
Nice.
So
yeah, I guess the other time is like if I know there's going to be like a number of people together, if I'm quote unquote entertaining, which is quite rare, then I like to bust out some good beer to share with people.
Oh yeah, so let's like your bachelor party.
Oh, that was like what's best.
That's still like one of my favorite like beer drinking experiences of all time.
Yeah. We had a very
especially because you asked me like you just bring a bunch of good beers, and I
gave you permission. Yeah.
Yeah, and I made sure I got a tabware box delivered full of stuff like before that, and I just brought all that stuff, and I had a ton of different Toppling Goliath stuff, and I had some good IPAs in that box.
That was so fun. The older I get, that's like all I want to do is like just get together with my close friends and like drink beer, drink good scotch, and smoke cigars, and that's it, and just sit around.
Play video games.
Yeah, I understand old people now. I never thought I would, but I'm getting there.
You never thought you would appreciate sitting around drinking beer?
Yeah, just sitting around doing nothing. And just doing nothing. Like, we're not going anywhere. We have no plans. We're not excited about life anymore. But you know what we can do? We can just sit here and drink good beer and drink good scotch and smoke cigars.
Yeah. It's always funny to me. Every once in a while I'll do like a happy hour after work or something. And I always, in my head, I'm thinking like, I spent my whole day at work with these people, like I spend every day at work with these people constantly talking about stuff. And I was like, how much more could we even have to talk about? Like if we go out for a happy hour, but we always do. And it's really fun.
You never run out of stuff to talk about.
Yeah. And it's just so fun to hang out with people that you like and drink beer together.
You're lucky that you like your coworkers.
I am lucky. Yeah, that's nice. That's true. I am very, very lucky to have a really, really good team. And also, since we're talking about celebrations, this week is Nurses Week.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So cheers to all the nurses out there. I'm drinking this is my second beer tonight. That's for you.
Yeah, cheers to you. I'm into the second half of my extremely strong barrel stout.
Healthcare heroes. Sometimes people forget that we laugh because for a long time that like all during the height of COVID we were like healthcare heroes and we were getting all these cool discounts and stuff and free food.
Now you're just chopped liver again.
Yeah, now it's gone away.
It's like yeah, do your jobs, nurses. Pandemic's over. You're back to just whatever you were before. Yeah. That's pretty funny.
This week I'm drinking beer for healthcare workers and nurses.
Well, I think you guys should always get discounts and special treatment. Nurses and teachers and public servants of the sort.
Yeah, like right at the beginning of COVID, McDonald's was doing like you give free meal for nurses and you could get it every day.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was freaking awesome. So I was like stopping and getting my free breakfast at McDonald's every day, and it was amazing.
It's a nice little perk.
I guess I should have known that was not going to last forever.
No, they're like, this is temporary.
But it was pretty cool.
I love McDonald's breakfast too. Oh my gosh. I haven't had McDonald's breakfast in like years.
Yeah, and that's what's so funny. Like I would never stop at McDonald's to get breakfast on my way
No.
to work, but like I was
if
doing
it's free.
But I was doing it every day.
What's your go-to? You get like a sausage McMuffin or?
Yeah,
that's the best, right?
For sure. Yeah. Yeah, that perfectly circled egg they cook.
Yes, that they make in like a weird like device.
I also really like. They also have that breakfast sandwich where the bun has like maple syrup baked into it. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I've never had that. Whoa.
Yeah, it's called the like McGriddle or something. But yeah.
Okay.
Like the bun is this like sort of biscuity bun, but it has like maple syrup baked into it. It's ridiculously good.
Wow, McDonald's breakfast has gotten fancy since the last time I went.
Yeah. But I haven't had it in a while, so maybe they don't even have that one anymore. But yep, yeah, free McDonald's breakfast for a while. That was fun.
It's a nice little perk. All right, maybe
But
I'll
now,
go see if I can get this syrup infused breakfast.
but it's pretty funny too. Like, I mean, during Nurses Week, we just get a lot of stuff. Like, it seems like every day when we go into work, there's some sort of food or cupcakes, or we had like Cinnabon delivered and all this stuff. So we still get treated pretty good on Nurses Week, but not a good week to start a diet for sure.
Terrible timing, yeah.
I also do a fair amount of, like, when I buy beer, especially if I had to buy like a 6-pack of beer and stuff, and I don't want to drink all 6 of them. I bring a lot of beer to work, so we do a lot of beer trading at work. So there's like, it's not a celebration, but like sometimes it's fun to like the next day be like, did you try the beer I gave you? We're constantly asking about the beer that we give each other at work.
That's awesome. I don't have craft beer friends at work. I have like one, but we don't see each other very often. I'm very jealous of your coworker situation.
Yeah, we are constantly bringing beer to work and giving each other beer. And it's really funny because the last few weeks, there's been some really good Martin House sour releases. And so it's really funny because like I'll buy it and think like, oh, I'm going to take some of these into work and give them to people. And then like the other person had the exact same thought. So we're like trading beer, but we're like, oh, I brought you that same beer.
That is so funny. Great minds think alike.
Yeah. It's pretty awesome, but it's really cool because it ends up being like we all get to try this certain beer, and we all know what each other like and stuff. So it's pretty awesome.
That's awesome. I guess I gotta become a nurse and move to Texas. Apparently.
Yeah. By the way, I'm drinking this Martin House sour right now. It's called Lemon Icebox Pie. The lemon sour with graham crackers and lactose.
That sounds good.
Yeah. I am always very, very, very leery of lemon beers because they can be terrible and they can taste like floor cleaner. But this one's really good. It's nice and subtle. It leans more into the graham cracker and like the sweetness with the lactose than the lemon. So that's good. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Not complex or anything, but it's a Martin House sour, which is, pretty safe bet these days.
Well, beer doesn't have to be complex to be good. That's for sure.
Yeah,
nice. So any other reasons you celebrate with beer? Honeymoon. I was going to say honeymoon. I meant anniversary, anything like that?
Well, I will say, so the trips I was talking about when we were going to big cities, we were doing in August usually because it's my birthday and our anniversary that month. So
oh, cool.
That was always kind of what we were celebrating with both of those things. The 4th of July is a good one.
Okay.
That's more of your like summer outdoor beer kind of celebrations when you drink the crispy beers.
Crispy. That's our new word. But I know what that means.
That's the day you drink your Pabst Blue Ribbon because it's red, white, and blue, you know?
And it's crispy.
I feel like you can celebrate every day with beer.
Is that our conclusion of the episode?
That's our final conclusion, is that every day you can just celebrate with a beer. It's actually
Fair
really
enough.
funny. I have a friend that is like obsessed with the like it's International such and such day today, it's like International Hot Dog Day.
I feel like every single day is something, right?
Oh yeah, no, there is something. And so like, yeah, she was obsessed with like looking to see what today is, and she would always like let us all know. And there's actually like, I mean, I feel like every 3rd day is like some sort of beer day. Like happy, I think I even sent you a text the other day. It was like Happy Saison Day.
Yeah.
And you were like, wait, is that a thing?
Is this real? Yeah, so if you need an excuse to celebrate a day with a beer, you could just figure out whatever the day is and then celebrate that.
Yep. Just cheers to, like National Sloth Day or National...
raise a glass to National Sloth Day.
Yeah. Save the sloths.
Definitely.
But yeah, I mean, like recently there was this National And I always know about these because I follow so many breweries on Instagram. Because all of a sudden it'll be like, "What are you drinking for National IPA Day today?" And it's like, oh my gosh. There's like National IPA Day, Saison Day, National Beer Day.
Yeah, I feel like with just the beer styles, there's like enough days. That's got to cover like 30 to 40 days if they have one for every style.
National Red IPA Day.
Yeah, National Brute IPA Day. No, that one probably didn't get a day.
No, brew IPAs don't get a day.
They don't even get made anymore, so they definitely don't get a day.
Does Congress vote on these days?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, what is the mechanism for these days being created? That's a great question. We can postscript that.
Yeah, but don't write that down because next week before we're getting ready for the episode, we'll have to think like, what were we supposed to postscript?
I'm running it right now. We're not making this mistake again.
Yeah, so a little backstory on that. We never remember our postscripts, and we have to re-listen to the episode quickly before we try and figure out what we're supposed to postscript. So yeah,
we skip around until it jogs our memory. Listen to it at jump 2 minutes at a time.
All right, so yeah, every day there's a reason to celebrate by drinking beer.
There, we did it. We got there. Now you have an excuse for any day of the year. All right. Well, we've been pretty silly this episode. Should we wrap it?
Yeah. Okay. With a few reminders, drink your cellar. Okay. Don't hold on to your beers because you might die tomorrow, and then you'll be sad that you're dead and that you didn't drink your beers.
Yeah, that's gonna flash before my eyes if I was dying right now. All the beers in my beer fridge that I didn't drink.
Yeah. Make sure you have a will so that you know who
you can pass those beers on.
Yeah. You know who those beers are gonna go to when you die, because yes, it's sad that you're dead and it's sad that you didn't get to drink those, but it'll be more sad if your family is fighting over your craft beers in your cellar.
Your cellar, yeah.
Yeah, and share beer with your friends.
Yes, nothing is more fun than sharing beer.
Those are my 2 tips.
Very good tips.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I agree with these tips.
You can either die or you can die with a will. You should die with a will, okay?
Are those my only 2 options?
Yes, you either die without a will or you die with a will. Those are inevitably, those are your only 2 choices. So you should die. I
have a will. I'm gonna leave all my beer to you, Steven.
Well, duh.
Say the contents of the old beer I got, the old fridge I got for free and had to meticulously wash out from a weird person that lived in the outskirts of town, all go to one Steven of Texas.
Yeah, every good beer fridge was bought on Facebook Marketplace.
I didn't even have to pay. I got this for free.
Yeah. Either acquired for free or for $50 on Facebook Marketplace.
Yes. Yeah. The refrigerators, sure, it's not energy efficient, but it's when they actually made things to last. And I'm sure it's going to outlast the refrigerator I bought when I bought this house.
Yeah, my beer fridge.
That's true.
My beer fridge is dented.
Yes.
And it's got to have some good dents in it. And you have to just put a bunch of brewery stickers all over it. And then
I got to send you a picture of mine because... So I got this beer fridge from a house, and I don't know if the house that I got it from wrote this on, but in permanent marker of 4 different colors, they wrote their whole cooking and cleaning schedule on the front of it. So it's Monday, Jeremy cooks and Liz cleans. Then Tuesday, Liz cooks and Jeremy cleans. And it's never coming off because it's in permanent marker.
Oh my gosh.
But hey, I like it.
That's fantastic. Yeah.
It's got character. It lives in my garage. Yeah, it has character.
That's amazing.
I'll send you a picture. Maybe I'll put a picture on the Instagram of my...
Yeah, we'll post pictures of our beer fridges.
Of the unknown cooking schedule of unknown origins.
Oh my god.
All right, I'm cutting us off, Steven.
Okay.
If you want to get in contact with us, we're at attenuation.podcast. This has been episode 60 of Attenuation, a beer podcast. My name is Jason. I'm joined by my best friend since 8th, Steven.
That's me.
And we are saying cheers. And we'll see you next week for episode 61.
All right. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers. Drink your cellar.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Attenuation, a beer podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and follow us on Instagram or Facebook for more fun content. Catch you next week. Cheers!